How is this even possible? Oh, hello. I'm the host of the Midnight Who Show, and tonight I'm going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Goosebumps in this year's Halloween show. So, viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Welcome to this year's Halloween show. And yeah, it's hard to believe Goosebumps is 30 years old. And it is seriously one of my favorite book series ever. Now, I started reading Goosebumps toward the end of the 3rd grade when my teacher at that time was just giving books out at the end of the year. They were just giving away a lot of stuff because they were retiring, and they had some books and other stuff that they just started handing out to the students. And one of the books was How to Kill a Monster by R.L. Stine. And for me, I knew nothing about Goosebumps at the time. I was just really drawn to this cover. It looked really cool. It looked different, and yeah, little did I know at that time that it would be my new kind of obsession. It was just, I was hooked after reading this. But honestly, I can really thank one person out there in this entire world, and that's Jay. I'm not going to say their full name, but they were one of the adults involved in Boy Scouts. And they had a lot of Goosebumps books. And I just think they just noticed that I was getting into this series, and they gave me a whole bunch of them. Wonderfully kind person who passed on the Goosebumps books to someone who was going to really enjoy them and read them, and I am eternally grateful for him. He will be missed every single day he's not on this earth anymore. Now let me tell you a little story. Did you know that reading, I read these when I was camping, okay? And let me tell you, not a good choice. Seriously. This is the one I actually remember the most reading in a tent, is You Can't Scare Me. Not a great choice, let me tell you. I think every little noise that startled me, I was like, okay, what's that? And what's going on? And I just enjoyed reading these so much. But yeah, it was not the smartest choice to read while you're in the middle of the woods camping. Especially when you're about, 8 to 10 years old. Not probably the smartest choice in the world. One of my goals this year was to actually complete the first 62 Goosebumps books. This is not an easy task, mostly because of the final 3. Seriously, 60, 61, and 62. They were not easy, and I just finally broke down and bought 60 and 62 on thrift books. I was lucky to find 61 one day at a used bookstore, and I was really excited. 62 original books is not the only ones I have collected over the years. I have the Horrorland series that they've done, and all the little spin-offs from that one. I don't have too many of the Series 2000s. I would like them someday. I have the Tales to Give You Goosebumps. I have 4 of those now, and I have a few of the Give Yourself Goosebumps books, which are not my favorite, but I am not trying to kind of, collect every single Goosebumps books. I'm just trying to find them whenever I see them. But the 62 original books, as you can tell in that clip, they're the ones that I care the most about. Some of my favorite Goosebumps books from the original 62. I enjoy every single one of the Slappy books, even if Slappy terrifies me, but that's mostly because of the TV show, which we'll talk about. It's really hard for me to pick which one I enjoy the most, but I think it's just a really kind of cool creation that R.L. Stine had. The Haunted Mask books are just so good. I love the Halloween setting, and they're always one of my favorite ones to read. Stay Cheese and Die. What a phenomenal book. I think out of every single one of Goosebumps, this is the one that I always kind of remember the most. And I think it's another one of those where that cover just, I'm automatically drawn to it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta see what this is all about. And I really like this kind of idea of a haunted camera. That is just a phenomenal idea. But out of all of them, yep, One Day at Horrorland, I absolutely enjoyed this book. And I think this is the one that I read a lot when I was younger, and I really want to read the sequel from the Series 2000 line of books, and maybe one day I'll get that one, but I absolutely enjoyed this one. I also love the idea of this just haunted kind of, theme park mixed with monsters, and just, such a great idea. Those are just a few of my favorite Goosebumps books from the original 62. You know, Monster Blood, Werewolf at a Fever Swamp. Can't forget the classic, the very first one, you know, Welcome to the Dead House. There's so many classic Goosebumps books. It really is hard for me to pick one of my favorites. So next up, let's talk about the visual side of Goosebumps. Oh boy, when I found out there was a TV show, I knew I had to watch it. And yes, this TV show it's not the greatest. You know, the acting, it's just fine. You know, it's definitely a low-budget children's program for the 90s. It's nothing to write home about, but you gotta admit, there's some really enjoyment in this. And, you know, when I was younger, I didn't really care. It's just cool little programming. But I gotta tell you, I love the original case design. I love that it took the book cover, gave that purple case. It's just, this stood out to me more than the newer version. You know, this is fine, but nothing really about it just stands out to me as much as the kind of original, you know, look. Now, what's interesting for me about the TV show is that a lot of these I actually kind of enjoyed more than the book. And I think it's because they changed a few things. But I remember I liked One Day at Horrorland so much more, but I liked the ending to Say Cheese and Die a lot. But yeah, I really do enjoy just going back and watching these every Halloween. There's something about them that's definitely really cool, yet they are a little bit cheesy, but come on. I'm also a person who's watched Doctor Who from, you know, the classic era, and, you know, they're just fun things to watch. They're children's programming, they didn't have the highest budget, so you know what, just take them as they are. I think you'll still find some enjoyment. Now, I was excited when they announced that they're doing a Goosebumps movie, but let me tell you, I liked the first one, and I didn't care for the second one. You know, I think, though, seriously, Jack Black as R.L. Stine was a phenomenal choice. I really liked just the R.L. Stine books coming to life. Some of the effects were really cool, and they're a good watch, you know, for Halloween, but yeah, I didn't care for this one. And I'm very curious to see what the Disney Plus show is going to be like. That's going to be releasing sometime soon. Don't know when, but I'm very curious to see what that one's going to be like. Well, that's it for tonight. I really hope you guys enjoyed me just sharing a few of my favorite memories of the Goosebumps franchise. And maybe someday in the future, I'll actually review maybe one of the books or the TV show. And in the comments below, share me one of your favorite Goosebumps memories. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.